Welcome back to my channel, Worth Old Coins. Today is Best Top 5 Coins, one you want to miss. We're diving into the world of American coins. Please don't skip this video. So let's get it started. Top 1. The 1990p Roosevelt dime, issued by the Philadelphia Mint, is a 10-cent coin that not only fulfills a vital role in the fabric of everyday American commerce, but also serves as a continuing tribute to President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, a pivotal figure in United States history. While dimes are among the smallest U.S. coins in both size and face value, they represent a significant piece of the nation's numismatic and historical legacy. The 1990 dime belongs to the long-running Roosevelt dime series, which began in 1946, the year after FDR's death, as a way to honor the 32nd President of the United States. Roosevelt's leadership during the Great Depression and World War II left a lasting impact, and his connection to the March of Dimes, a national campaign to fight polio, a disease he personally struggled with, made the dime a fitting tribute. By 1990, the Roosevelt dime had been in circulation for over 4 decades. Its design largely unchanged, a testament to its enduring symbolism and public acceptance. The obverse front of the 1990p dime features the iconic left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, created by John R. Sinnock, the chief engraver of the United States Mint at the time of the coin's introduction. The portrait is simple yet dignified, showing Roosevelt with a composed expression and clean lines, capturing the resolute leadership he was known for. Around his head are the liberty to the left, "In God we trust" below the chin, the year of issue 1990 to the lower right, and the P mint mark above the date, indicating it was struck in Philadelphia. The small initials JS at the base of the neck stand for Sinnak's name, although the design has drawn occasional criticism for its simplicity. It remains one of the most instantly recognizable portraits in modern U.S. coinage. The reverse back of the coin maintains the same elements that have appeared on the Roosevelt dime since its inception in 1946. At the center is a torch, symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch on the left, representing peace, and an oak branch on the right, symbolizing strength and independence. Together, these elements convey the ideals upon which the nation is built. The reverse include United States of America along the top rim, the Latin motto E pluribus unum, out of many, one across the center, and the denomination 1 dime at the bottom. The reverse was also designed by John R. Sinnock and has proven to be both functional and artistically durable, resisting any major changes through decades of political, cultural, and technological evolution. Physically, the 1990p dime is composed of a copper-nickel-clad alloy, which has been the standard since 1965. Specifically, it consists of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core, resulting in a total composition of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. This clad composition replaced the earlier 90% silver dimes due to the rising cost of silver and the economic changes of the 1960s. The 1990 dime has a diameter of 17.91 millimeters, a weight of 2.268 grams, and a reeded edge with 118 tiny rejuza, design feature that originated to prevent coin clipping when dimes were still made of precious metals. Although the clad version has no intrinsic metal value, it remains durable and efficient for high-volume circulation. In terms of mintage and rarity, the Philadelphia Mint produced a total of over 1.03 billion 1,031,950,000 Roosevelt dimes in 1990, making it a very common coin. As a result, circulated examples hold only face value 10 cents unless they are in exceptional condition. However, uncirculated specimens with high grades, particularly MS66 or higher, can be of interest to collectors. Coins that are brilliantly struck, shonaware, and exhibit strong luster may command modest premiums in the numismatic market. Proof versions of the 1990 Roosevelt dime were not struck at the Philadelphia Mint, but at the San Francisco Mint, bearing an S mint mark, and typically included in proof sets sold to collectors. These proof coins are more refined in appearance, with mirror-like fields and frosted designs, and are significantly more collectible than regular circulation coins. As for varieties and errors, the 1990p dime does not have any widely known or officially recognized major varieties. However, collectors always examine coins closely for potential minting errors such as off-center strikes, double dies, broad strikes, or wrong planchet errors, which can dramatically increase a coin's value depending on severity and rarity. While no major error is publicly documented for the 1990p issue, each individual coin remains a unique item that could potentially offer something unusual for a careful observer. The historical and cultural context of 1990 also enhances the importance of this coin. The United States was experiencing a period of transition. The Cold War was drawing to a close, and technological innovation, especially in computing and telecommunications, was accelerating. President George H.W. Bush was in office, and the Gulf War loomed on the horizon. While the dime may seem a humble piece of this complex tapestry, its consistent design served as a quiet symbol of continuity, national identity, and respect for a transformative American president. Millions of these coins passed through the hands of everyday Americans, funding small purchases, accumulating in change jars, or disappearing into vending machines, carrying Roosevelt's enduring legacy. In conclusion, the 1990p Roosevelt dime is a prime example of how even the smallest coin can carry significant symbolic weight. While billions were minted, and it holds only minor numismatic value in typical condition, its portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, its classical American symbolism, and its enduring composition speak to a broader narrative of economic pragmatism and national honor. Struck at the historic Philadelphia Mint, it continues a series that links millions of Americans across generations to a leader who helped guide the country through crisis, whether tucked away in a collector's album, jingling in a pocket, or studied under a magnifying glass. The 1990 dime remains a testament to American resilience, unity, and heritage. Top 2. Asterisk the 1985 D Roosevelt dime, minted at the Denver Mint, represents a crucial yet often overlooked element of American daily life, commerce, and national symbolism. With a face value of 10 cents, the dime is the smallest denomination by size in U.S. coinage, yet it is also one of the most enduring, practical, and historically significant. The Roosevelt dime has been in continuous production since 1946. Following the death of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, Roosevelt's leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, along with his pivotal role in establishing the March of Dimes to combat polio, made him a fitting figure to be honored on the 10-cent piece. By the time the 1985 D dime was released, the design had remained nearly unchanged for nearly 40 years, testifying to both Roosevelt's enduring legacy and the stability of American coinage traditions. Asterisk on the obverse front side of the 1985 D dime, you'll find the left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, designed by John R. Sinek, chief engraver of the U.S. Mint in the 1940s. Roosevelt is depicted in a calm and dignified pose, emphasizing his strength, intellect, and steady leadership during America's most trying periods. The portrait is simple yet powerful, a stark contrast to some of the more ornate designs seen on earlier American coins. They include liberty to the left, symbolizing the fundamental American ideal. In God We Trust below Roosevelt's chin, reflecting the nation's moral and spiritual foundation. The date 1985 to the lower right, and the D mint mark located just above the last digit in the date, signifying that the coin was minted in Denver, Colorado. Also present are the initials JS, which stand for John Sinnock and are found at the base of Roosevelt's neck. Asterisk. The reverse back design continues the symbolism-rich theme introduced in 1946. At the center is a torch, representing the enduring flame of liberty, flanked by an olive branch on the left, signifying peace, and an oak branch on the right, symbolizing strength and independence. These elements combine to reflect the core principles upon which the United States was founded and continues to stand. Surrounding this central design are the United States of America along the top rim and one dime at the bottom, clearly identifying the issuing nation and denomination. Between the torch and branches lies the national motto, E pluribus unum, Latin for out of many, one a reference to the unity of the American states despite their diversity. This carefully balanced composition serves not only as an artistic statement, but as a permanent reminder of the ideals that Roosevelt himself championed. Asterisk. The 1985 D-dime is struck on a clad composition planchette, a standard for U.S. dimes since dot sieged, a standard for U.S. dimes since 1965, when the mint stopped using silver for circulating coins. This means the coin consists of an outer layer made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core, creating a composition of about 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. This clad metal mixture gives the coin a dull silvery sheen. Durability and corrosion resistance is important for coins that circulate heavily. The coin weighs to 0.68 grams, has a diameter of 17.91 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.35 millimeters. The edge is reeded with 118 tiny ridges, a traditional feature once used to deter shaving or clipping when coins contained precious metals. Though the coin no longer contains silver, the reeded edge remains both a historical carryover and a tactile feature helping to identify the coin by touch. Asterisk in terms of mintage. The Denver Mint produced a substantial quantity of Roosevelt dimes in 1985, over 654 million specifically. 654,456,000. Given this high production volume, the 1985 D-dime is extremely common in circulation and holds no significant premium in worn condition. Most of these coins can be found in pocket change or change jars today, and their value remains at face value 10 cents unless they are found in uncirculated mint state or proof-like condition. For collectors, coins graded MS65 to MS67 or higher, especially those with full luster, sharp strikes, and no contact marks, can hold modest value ranging from a few dollars to over $10, depending on condition. Additionally, collectors look for full bands FB designations on the torch, indicating a very sharp strike where the horizontal bands on the torch are fully separated. This detail can raise the coin's grade and desirability. Asterisk. Although the 1985 D Roosevelt dime has no major die varieties or widely recognized mint errors, collectors and error coin enthusiasts occasionally find coins with interesting anomalies such as off-center strikes, broad strikes, die clashes, or double dies. While rare, such errors can command significant premiums based on their visibility, uniqueness, and condition. These anomalies can sometimes go unnoticed in circulation and are often discovered by attentive roll hunters or numismatists examining coins under magnification. Asterisk. Historically, the year 1985 marked a period of transition and technological progress. In the United States, Ronald Reagan was in his second term as president, and the country was emerging from economic difficulties into a period of optimism and innovation. Personal computing, telecommunications, and international relations were changing rapidly. Against this backdrop, the Roosevelt dime remained a quiet but stable feature in American life. It passed through countless hands in purchases, payphones, vending machines, and toll booths. connecting people of all ages, classes, and backgrounds. Its unchanged design offered continuity and familiarity, even as the world around it evolved. Asterisk culturally. The Roosevelt dime represents more than its small face value. It commemorates a president who not only led during crisis, but fundamentally reshaped the relationship between the government and the people through programs like the New Deal and his firm belief in social welfare. Roosevelt's involvement in the March of Dimes, which successfully helped to fund research that eventually led to the polio vaccine, makes the dime a particularly appropriate vehicle for his legacy. Every 1985 D dime, like those before and after it, serves as a miniature tribute to FDR's personal courage and public service. Asterisk in conclusion. The 1985 D Roosevelt dime is a coin of remarkable consistency, enduring design, and subtle symbolic depth. While its market value is low in circulated form due to massive mintage, its significance in U.S. history and its connection to one of America's greatest presidents make it more than mere change. It is an enduring artifact of American resilience, practical economy, and civic memory. Whether collected in a pristine mint set or spent at a corner store, each 1985 D dime continues the legacy of Roosevelt's vision of a country forged through struggle, bound by unity and committed to liberty and justice for all. Top 3. The 1988p Roosevelt dime. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, is a small yet historically rich component of United States coinage. As part of the Roosevelt dime series, first issued in 1946 to honor President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, 1988 dime continues a design tradition that blends tribute, functionality, and national symbolism. Though its face value is merely 10 cents, this coin represents far more than its monetary worth. It commemorates one of the most influential presidents in American history and reflects the enduring purpose of coinage as both a practical tool and a national emblem. By 1988, the Roosevelt dime had already been in production for over 4 decades with very few design changes. Speaking to its effectiveness and the esteem in which Roosevelt was held, that year's dime was minted during the presidency of Ronald Reagan at the end of a decade defined by conservatism, economic reform, the Cold War, and significant technological advancement, of which form part of the cultural backdrop too. This small but symbolic coin, on the obverse front of the 1988p dime. The coin features the left-facing portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, designed by John R. Sannock, the U.S. Mint's chief engraver at the time the dime series was introduced. Sannock's design presents Roosevelt with a solemn, composed demeanor, Madakelv he projected, while leading the country through the Great Depression and World War II. The design was not only a tribute to Roosevelt's leadership, but also to his humanitarian work, especially through the March of Dimes, a polio-fighting campaign that he championed. Surrounding his profile are the liberty to the left of his face, "In God We Trust" below his chin, the date 1988 to the right of the neck, and the mint mark P, denoting Philadelphia, just above the year. Also included are the initials JS, discreetly engraved at the base of the neck, honoring Sannock. This portrait has remained virtually unchanged since 1946. Demonstrating its iconic status and the public's enduring recognition of Roosevelt's contribution. The reverse back of the 1988 dime carries the same design it had since the series' inception. It features a torch in the center, representing liberty and enlightenment. This torch is flanked by 2 plant symbols on the left, an olive branch symbolizing peace, and on the right, an oak branch, signifying strength and endurance. The reverse also includes the United States of America around the top. E pluribus, unum, Latin for out of many. 1 horizontally across the center beneath the torch, and 1 dime at the bottom. This trio of symbols, liberty, peace, and strength, offers a concise but powerful statement of American ideals. The design is both visually balanced and deeply symbolic, making it one of the most enduring reverse designs in American coinage history. Physically, the 1988 P. Roosevelt dime is made of clad composition. As the U.S. Mint had transitioned away from silver coinage after 1964, this coin consists of outer layers made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core, resulting in a total composition of approximately 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. The coin weighs 0.68 grams, has a diameter of 17.91 millimeters, a thickness of 1.35 millimeters, and a reeded edge with 118 ridges. This reeded edge, which dates back to when dimes were made of silver, remains as a traditional feature and anti-counterfeiting measure. The clad dime is more cost-effective to produce, durable, and remains a staple of modern coinage. Regarding mintage, the 1988 P. Roosevelt dime was struck in very large numbers. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 1.03 billion, 1,030,720,000 dimes that year. As a result, the 1988 P dime is extremely common in circulation, and examples in circulated condition carry no premium above face value. However, collectors may seek out uncirculated or mint state specimens, especially those graded MS66 or higher by professional services like PCGs or NGC. These coins must display sharp detail, original mint luster, and virtually no surface imperfections to command higher prices. Additionally, proof versions of the 1988 Roosevelt dime were minted in San Francisco, bearing an S mint mark, and sold as part of U.S. Mint proof sets to collectors. These proof coins, with their mirror-like finishes and frosted devices, prized for their beauty and quality. While no widely known major die varieties or errors exist for the 1988 P dime, collectors sometimes examine coins for subtle anomalies, such as doubled dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, or planchette flaws. Any significant error could increase the coin's value considerably. But such examples are rare and usually discovered by diligent numismatists. Occasionally, roll hunters and hobbyists find coins with unique features that make even common issues more interesting to study and collect from a historical and cultural standpoint. The 1988 dime is an artifact of late Cold War America. The Reagan administration was in its final year, marked by arms negotiations with the Soviet Union, economic recovery, and shifts in domestic policy. As the U.S. prepared to enter the final decade of the 20th century, the dime continued to be a constant in American life. Whether used in payphones, vending machines, or laundromats, the 1988 P dime was a part of daily economic transactions, connecting millions of Americans through shared currency. Its unchanged design and presence in circulation also offered a subtle but stable link to the past, particularly to the New Deal era and World War II generation. In summary, the 1988 P. Roosevelt dime is a small but deeply meaningful coin, though its design and metallic content make it a typical modern circulation piece. Its tribute to Franklin D. Roosevelt and the ideals of liberty, peace, and strength elevate its significance. Minted in over 1 billion units, it may seem common, but each coin carries with it the echo of history and the daily rhythm of American life. Whether examined under a magnifying glass by a collector or dropped casually into a parking meter, the 1988 dime remains a consistent part of the U.S. coinage tradition, a tribute in metal to a president, a policy, and a people. Top 4. The 1995 P. Roosevelt dime, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, is a small yet meaningful piece of modern American coinage, representing the economic life, national symbolism, and democratic heritage of the United States in the final decade of the 20th century. As the 10-cent coin in U.S. currency, the dime holds a unique place not only for its practical value in commerce, but also for its enduring tribute to President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, whose leadership during the Great Depression and World War II defined a critical era in American history. The Roosevelt dime was introduced in 1946, the year following FDR's death, as a lasting memorial to the 32nd president. By 1995, the design had remained largely unchanged for nearly 5 decades, reflecting both the stability of U.S. coinage and the lasting reverence for Roosevelt's impact on American society. The obverse front of the 1995 P dime features a left-facing profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt. Designed by John R. Sinnock, chief engraver of the U.S. Mint at the time of the coin's initial introduction. Roosevelt is depicted with a serious and resolute expression, reflecting his firm leadership and historic legacy. The design captures the essence of FDR's character, representing resilience, determination, and the enduring fight for social progress during some of the most difficult times in the nation's history. Around the portrait are the Liberty on the left, "In God We Trust" below the chin, the mint mark P to the right of Roosevelt's neck, indicating Philadelphia, and the date 1995 to the lower right. The designer's initials, JS, can be found just below the neckline, paying quiet tribute to Sinnock's contribution to U.S. numismatic history. The reverse back of the dime maintains the classic Roosevelt design introduced in 1946. It features a central torch, representing liberty, flanked by an olive branch on the left, symbolizing peace, and an oak branch on the right, symbolizing strength and independence. These 3 images combine to express the ideals upon which the American Republic was built. Above the design, the words United States of America are arched, while the national motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one, is inscribed horizontally beneath the torch. At the bottom of the reverse is the denomination, 1 dime. The design is balanced, clean, and elegant, making it one of the most enduring motifs in modern American coinage. In terms of its physical composition, the 1995 P dime is part of the clad coinage era, which began in 1965 when the U.S. Mint discontinued using silver in regular circulation dimes. The coin is composed of outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core, giving it a total composition of approximately 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. It weighs 2.268 grams, has a diameter of 17.91 millimeters, a thickness of 1.35 millimeters, and a reeded edge with 118 tiny grooves. This reeded edge is a holdover from the days when coins were made of precious metals. It originally served to prevent dishonest shaving or clipping of silver content. Today, it remains a security and tactile feature of modern U.S. coinage. In terms of mintage and distribution, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 1.16 billion Roosevelt dimes in 1995, making it one of the most heavily circulated issues of the decade. As such, the 1995 P dime is extremely common in circulated condition and holds little numismatic value above face value unless it is found in exceptional mint state or proof condition. Coins graded MS66 or higher by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC may carry a small premium, especially if they have exceptional luster, strike quality, and eye appeal. Collectors may also seek out error coins from 1995, including off-center strikes, doubled dies, or coins struck on the wrong planchette, which are rare but can be valuable. In contrast to Philadelphia's circulation strikes, proof dimes dated 1995 were struck at the San Francisco Mint with an S mint mark and sold in special sets for collectors. While its economic role may be modest, the 1995 Roosevelt dime occupies a greater symbolic space in American culture. Its continued use reflects the nation's tradition of honoring influential leaders. and its simple yet powerful design communicates the principles of liberty, unity, peace, and strength, ideals that Roosevelt himself championed through his presidency. The dime also carries a poignant connection to FDR's battle with polio and his support for the March of Dimes, a public health campaign originally aimed at eradicating that very disease. That connection continues today, making the Roosevelt dime not just a piece of currency, but a living legacy of health, advocacy, and public service. Moreover, the 1995 P dime circulated widely during a time of significant transition in American society. The mid-1990s were marked by the rise of the Internet, globalization, post-Cold War optimism, and shifting political landscapes. While Americans increasingly turned to digital technologies and plastic cards for commerce, coins like the dime remained a physical link to the nation's historical foundations. Whether used in vending machines, saved in change jars, or handed to children as allowance, the 1995 dime was an everyday reminder of America's storied past and the enduring values carried forward from one generation to the next. In conclusion, the 1995 P. Roosevelt dime is far more than a simple 10-cent piece. It is a compact memorial to Franklin D. Roosevelt's legacy, an embodiment of American values, and a reflection of 20th-century coinage craftsmanship. Struck in the millions at the historic Philadelphia Mint, it carries forward the torch literally and symbolically of freedom, unity, and service. For collectors, students of history, and everyday Americans alike, this dime is a small but enduring emblem of the national spirit. Whether nestled in a pocket, tossed in a coin jar, or treasured in a display case, the 1995 Roosevelt dime continues to fulfill its mission not just as currency, but as a cultural and historical artifact of the United States of America. Top 5. The 201 4P Roosevelt dime, issued by the United States Mint, represents not only a small unit of American currency, but a piece of a long-standing tribute to one of the nation's most beloved presidents, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, FDR. Though its face value is just 10 cents, the dime carries with it a rich legacy of historical reverence, artistic design, national pride, and economic significance. The 2014 Roosevelt dime, marked with the P Mint mark, was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, the oldest mint facility in the United States, which has been operational since 1792. The P on the obverse side stands as a subtle but essential indicator for coin collectors, distinguishing it from dimes struck at the Denver D or San Francisco S mints. While the Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of these coins in 2014 for general circulation, its continued use of traditional and symbolic elements underscores the deep respect for America's democratic heritage. The obverse front of the 2014 dime features a left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, who led the nation through the Great Depression and most of World War II. This portrait was designed by John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint at the time, and first appeared on the dime in 1946. Shortly after Roosevelt's death in 1945, Sinek's engraving captures Roosevelt's determined expression, sharp features, and dignified profile attributes that reflect his strong leadership and enduring popularity. Around the portrait are the Liberty to the left, In God We Trust to the lower left, the date 2014, and the mint mark P just above the shoulder. Sinek's initials JS appear subtly at the base of the neck, often overlooked but a key part of U.S. coin design tradition. Dictation. The reverse back of the 2014 dime continues the standard Roosevelt dime design, which has remained largely unchanged since its introduction. It displays a torch in the center, symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch on the left, representing peace, and an oak branch on the right, symbolizing strength and independence. These three elements together embody the principles upon which the United States stands: liberty, peace, and strength. Around the top of the coin is the United States of America, and at the bottom is the denomination spelled out as 1 dime. Between the torch and the branches is the national motto, E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one, a phrase that captures the diverse yet united nature of the American Republic. In terms of its technical specifications, the 2014P Roosevelt dime is struck on a clad composition planchette, which has been standard since 1965. It is made of outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. This results in a total composition of approximately 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. The coin weighs 2.268 grams, has a diameter of 17.91 millimeters, and a reeded edge with 118 tiny grooves, an anti-counterfeiting feature, originally designed for silver coins to prevent shaving or clipping. Though modern dimes contain no silver, the reeded edge remains a key part of the coin's identity and tactile feel. The mintage of the 2014 Roosevelt dime from the Philadelphia Mint was approximately 1.35 billion coins, making it a common and widely circulated coin. As such, the 2014P dime does not hold significant numismatic value in worn condition, and in everyday circulation, it remains equal to its face value. However, coins in mint state MS or proof condition, particularly those graded MS 66 or higher, are of interest to collectors. Additionally, proof versions were struck at the San Francisco Mint and sold in sets, which included special finishes like deep cameo DCAM or silver-proof versions struck on 0.9 cells fine silver planchettes. While the regular 2014P clad dime was made for general circulation, these proof coins are considered high-quality collector items. From a historical and symbolic perspective, the Roosevelt dime carries deep meaning. FDR was instrumental in founding the March of Dimes, an organization originally formed to combat polio, a disease he himself battled. Upon his death, it was widely seen as fitting to honor him with the dime, the coin most associated with the campaign he inspired. The design has thus remained virtually unchanged for over 75 years, a testament to Roosevelt's legacy and the public's enduring respect for his presidency. Unlike other denominations that have seen numerous design changes, the dime's stability reflects a consensus about its iconography. Culturally, 2014 Roosevelt dime circulated during a time when the United States was navigating post-recession, recovery and modernizing its coinage systems while maintaining traditional designs. Though its monetary worth is small, the dime plays a vital role in commerce, especially in vending machines, parking meters, and precise change transactions. In classrooms, it helps teach children arithmetic and American history. In coin collecting, it remains one of the most accessible entry points into the hobby, offering both historical appeal and design consistency. In conclusion, the 2014P Roosevelt dime is a small yet profound representation of American history, leadership, and numismatic artistry. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint and bearing the enduring designs of John R. Sannock, it pays homage to a president who guided the nation through its darkest hours. With its torch of liberty, branches of peace and strength, and timeless mottos, this coin remains a tangible symbol of national ideals. Though it may pass through countless hands in daily commerce, it continues to carry with it the legacy of a leader, a movement, and a country defined by resilience and unity. For collectors, historians, and everyday Americans, the dime serves as a miniature monument to Franklin D. Roosevelt and the values he helped preserve. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe my channel for more videos.